Hi, mathematicians. We are looking at lesson 5-8, starting on page 315. I also gave you a worksheet today that you're going to want to put into your notes and use. You may even use it with Miss Stewart's, some of her labs and things. So you're going to need this one today and your workbook. So it's been a while since we've worked in measurement. Last spring, I don't think that you were able to get to it in the 4th grade because we shut down. It's usually one of the later chapters. And so some of this, I think you will be fine in, but you're not going to be as fluent in it as we normally would have been if it wasn't for the pandemic. So let's take a look at this record-breaking snowfall, which is kind of happening right now up in the passes. 6.5 feet were to fall in a 24-hour period. Would the 1921 record be beaten? Would it be broken? There are 12 inches in 1 foot. So kind of talk to me here. How do you think you would solve this? We'll pause in Edpuzzle and then come back. All right. I'm just going to kind of show you a couple different ways that you could do this. I love, you know how I love unit rates. So I know that it's 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, again, what am I doing here besides just my numbers and my ratio? I'm labeling. And in this scenario, we know that there was feet or inches. If 6.5 feet of snow were to fall, so I'm going to put my 6.5 feet on this side, and we're trying to figure out how many inches. So I'm just going to make that an X, okay? And I'm going to cross multiply. And when I do that, I get I'm going to do 12 times 6.5 over 1 times 6.5, and that's going to give me 78 by 6.5. And so I know that 6.5 feet are going to equal 78 inches. So we know that the record was broken because it's just a couple inches more, but it actually did work. Okay, are there other ways that you could do this? Absolutely. You could set up a table. You could graph it. You could do a different equation. This is just what I like to do on this one. Okay, friends, here we go with example number 1. This is on page 316, so you can follow along. We're going to use those ratios to convert different units of measurement. So I want you to notice this little table right here, and we're going to fill this in. And this is more for handy use in later because I'm not sure what's going to happen to your pages. So we know that 1 foot from our last problem is 12 inches. 1 yard is 36 inches because 1 yard is 3 feet. And that's probably the most common one that we do. 1 mile, this is not one that I would ever expect you to have memorized, but it's 5,280 feet. And 1 mile could also be 1,760 yards. So you'll notice our abbreviations for this would be IN, FT, and YD. Okay? So if you see those, then you know what it's like. So we're going to use this if you want to copy that down and come back to it. The sidewalk in front of a store is 4.5 feet wide. the city regulations establish a maximum width for sidewalks of 66 inches. Does the sidewalk meet the city regulations? So we're going to convert feet into inches, and we know that we have the 12 inches per foot. We know that we have 4.5 feet, but we're trying to find this number here. So we would multiply by 4.5 on top and bottom, and we get 54 inches. Okay, so that's our conversion. So the sidewalk is 54 inches. It meets the city regulations, okay? Because it has to have a maximum width of sidewalk at 66. So anything less than that would work, okay? You can, again, you could have set this up in a table. You do what you feel comfortable with, all right? So let's do a try it down here. According to city regulations, how many feet wide is the maximum sidewalk width? How many feet? So you're going to go from feet, and your information is in inches. So you tell me what you have to do, and then tell me what conversion factor. What did you do to get the 66 inches to feet? Explain to me. Okay, so we have another conversion table that we need to do, and this one has to do with capacity, so how much something can hold. And so 1 tablespoon, and you'll notice this is the abbreviation for that is 3, and they say tisps, but this is a teaspoon. So a teaspoon is smaller than a tablespoon. 1 fluid ounce is 2 tablespoons or 3 teaspoons. 1 cup, we're going to say, is 8 fluid ounces, which we also say, like up here, the FLOZ. 1 pint can be 2 cups, and 1 quart could be 2 pints. So these start kind of making a little bit more sense. They kind of build on each other. And then 1 gallon is 4 pints. Oh my gosh, Miss Crumbs, I can't talk today. All right, so you're going to use this to help convert. So Jonah has 15 gallons of water. So it looks like we're going to go from gallons. How many quarts of water? So we know that 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. And Jonah has how many? He has 15. So we're going to say 4 quarts per gallon. We're going to times that by 15, top and bottom. And we find out that there are 60 quarts with that 15 gallons. Okay, that's a lot of quarts of water. You can also do the cross multiplying, and it works out as well. So let's try this one. Brandon is making bread. His recipe says to use 2.5 tablespoons of sugar. How many teaspoons of sugar should he use? So you're going to convert this for me and choose the correct answer in Edpuzzle. Okay, so now we're moving on to conversions with weight. This is a very small table down here. So we know that a pound, which the abbreviation is LB, which never makes sense to me, but that would equal 16 ounces. And 1 ton, which is a capital T, is 2,000 pounds, okay? So if we get to look at example number 3, the alpine pika is a small mammal in the rabbit family. You guys just did those little habitats. So one of you might have had a rabbit that you needed to make a habitat for. How much does the alpine pika weigh in pounds? The number of ounces in the conversion rate is greater than the number of ounces that the pika weighed. So we're going to actually do a partial one. So we know that we're going to use 16 ounces is 1 pound. And I think they left out some info here. The number of ounces in the conversion rate is greater. Yeah, one use an equivalent rate. So 16 ounces for 1 pound. I do not see where the pica was given a weight. Well, I think they left out that information. That is so interesting. Okay, so it looks like the pica is 1.6 ounces. Do you see that anywhere in here? I think they just left it out. So instead of multiplying this time, we are going to divide by the 1.6 to see how much of a pound it is. And so we're using that rate of 1.6. And it turns out that the pica is 0.625 pounds. So now I want you to do it, but we're gonna do Stella, who weighs 3.3 tons. Tell me how many pounds she is. Try this.